Hey, welcome back. Today I want to talk about HTML. You probably heard that acronym. It's the short for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's basically like the blueprint of any web page. Any website that you visit is built using HTML, and so it makes sense to understand it and to know what's going on. HTML is like a blueprint. It tells the browser, which is the program displaying the website, how to display that site. And if you think about it, why can't we just scan a page like on a legal sheet of paper or an A4 paper and display it on the screen? Well, we could, but the thing is that screens are different, the sizes are different. If you imagine looking at this A4 or legal page on a smartphone screen that's much smaller than a tablet and even smaller than a huge monitor that might be standing on your desktop. So it makes sense to have the document that you want to show, that website, the web page that you want to show, sort of react and display according to the environment, whether the screen is big or small, whether the user has specific requirements in terms of accessibility. Maybe he wants to zoom the font size and so on. So we can't just use a scanned, put a A4 page on a scanner and display that. So that's why we use HTML. HTML is the blueprint, and it tells the web browser how to structure that page. Basically, it's a text document, much like if you're writing in Word or if you're writing an email. But inside this text document, there are specific layout tags, as we call them. There are little snippets of code, pieces of text that you put in front and after a certain area of your text, and that might designate, well, this is a heading here, or this is italic text, or this is bold text, or this is a link to Google. If you want to take a look at HTML and maybe want to write in an editor and see the corresponding HTML source code, as we call them, quote unquote, meaning you see your text plus the HTML text, you can go to teachmetome.com/HTML text. That's written in one word, so HTML text, and it will forward you to a text editor website and showing you on the left side, if you're viewing this on a computer screen, on the left side it shows you a typical editor like you might be familiar with when you're using Microsoft Word or any word processor basically. So you've got a button to write bold text, you've got a button to include a heading, a headline, you have buttons to include links. So that's probably the way that you're used to writing your text documents and styling them, right? Defining what's bold, what's italic, where's a link, where to put an image. But on the right side, you've got the HTML equivalent, the source code, meaning you see still your text, but then there's specific blue, displayed in blue, tags around it. For example, a text in a paragraph. This is just the text that you write, but at the start of the text, you've got the special paragraph tag. It's a less than sign, then a P for paragraph, and then a greater than sign. So it's a P with these pointy things around it. And then follows the text. So you start a new paragraph in HTML with this P tag, then you've got the text itself, and then you've got a /P. That sort of ends the paragraph. What if you want to include a headline, a heading, as it's called? Well, we've got different levels of headings, starting with H1, meaning the letter H and then followed by the digit 1. This is the topmost heading. You should only have one topmost heading on a website for SEO reasons, for search engine optimizations. But if you don't care about that, it doesn't really matter. It's just so you know that you've got different levels of headings, like the chapters and the subchapters and the sub-subchapters of a book. So if you're writing the topmost headline, you would include the heading tag H1 before the heading, and then after the heading /H1. What if you want to include a link to another website? After all, hypertext, HTML, hypertext markup language. Hypertext means we are linking towards other resources on the internet. We're linking towards other pages on the internet. So how do you include a link? Well, I've got the text that should be displayed as a link. So typically it's underlined. And you've got a special anchor tag that's defining the link. The anchor tag is the A followed by /A after the text that you want to link. The anchor tag has an attribute. The attribute is basically the website where we want to link to, maybe google.com or whatever, Yahoo, if you're old school like me. I don't know if Yahoo is actually still around, no idea. But you get the idea. You've got the A tag and then the href attributes. And again, if you look to teachmetom.com/HTML text, you see this in the demo. You see on the left side the link as it's will be appearing on a website, and on the right-hand side you see the HTML source code. And you've got lots of other stuff. You've got images there, you've got underlines. You can put emoticons there, you can have lists, bulleted lists or numbered lists, and all kinds of stuff. And you can try out, you can type on the left side and style the text that you want to have in the normal way by using the buttons. You can have left aligned and centered and right aligned text and so on. And you see on the right hand side the equivalent of the HTML source that will produce that output. Or you can actually do it also the other way around. You can try writing HTML inside the HTML source on the right hand side, and then you see how it's going to be displayed on a web page on the left hand side. So again, that's teachmetom.com/HTML text. It will forward you to this texteditor.com site and will give you some ideas and some demo text there and the corresponding HTML source.